Welcome back, everyone. This is Abdul Rahman Muhammad, a singular voice. And I know it's been a minute, but I thought I'd take this moment to kind of share with you my observations and thoughts on this recent terror attack in New York City, uh, wherein 8 completely innocent people were trying to enjoy a wonderful fall afternoon, walking along a bike path by the Hudson River, and they were brutally and viciously mowed down by a Muslim terrorist from Uzbekistan, whose name I will not mention. First of all, I'd like to express my condolences to the families of these 8 victims. It's really heartbreaking and painful, and this is a difficult time for them. And our prayers go out to them. Let us remember them, and let's try to support them any way that we can. You'll notice that I called this criminal a Muslim terrorist. Now, if you've been watching the media, if you've been reading the mainstream press, and if you've been watching the newscasts, they've described this as a terrorist act, an act of terror that was committed in the name of ISIS. And that's how you hear them describe it, that it was an act of terror and that this terrorist committed this act in the name of ISIS. But that's really not the whole story. What we had is a Muslim terrorist, and that's what's left out. You notice in all of these newscasts, all of these articles, the word Muslim and the word Islam has been completely expunged from the discourse. It's simply some random terrorist who committed this horrific crime in the name of ISIS. But the truth of the matter is, this man was a Muslim. He was a Muslim terrorist. Okay, not just any arbitrary terrorist. He was a Muslim terrorist. And the reason we say that he was a Muslim terrorist is because he committed these acts not in the name of ISIS. Sure, he committed these he committed these murders to further the cause of ISIS, but no Muslim would tell you that he committed these crimes in the name of ISIS. No, he committed these crimes in the name of Islam, or in the way of Allah, in the way of God. In Arabic, it's called fi sabilillah, in the way of God. In fact, go ask him. He's in the hospital. He's alive. Go ask him. What motivated you to do this? Who did you think you were serving when you did this? He wouldn't tell you ISIS. He did this in the name of Allah. Fi sabilillah, in the way of Allah, in the way of God, according to his twisted and deranged thinking. Okay, so what we're witnessing here is the media trying to protect the Muslim community, even while the Muslim community portrays itself as a victim. If you listen to all of the representatives of the Muslim communities, from CARE to MPAC, and on and on and on, Muslim Political Action Committee, and so on and so forth, they do the same thing. They express condolences and prayers for the family, and then they move on to this thing where they want to talk about the fear that the community is suffering. Okay, they go back to the victim card. All right, as if they have no hand in this, as if this type of criminal behavior is not emanating from the Muslim community. They want to take no responsibility for this man, even though he came out of the mosque right down there in Tampa, Florida. People knew who he was. He was praying with all the rest of the Muslims. You can see he has a Muslim appearance, the long beard, and he would consider himself to be a devout member of the community. So to just call him a terrorist who committed these acts, or this act in the name of ISIS, that's wrong. That's the politically correct speak, political correctness that is designed to protect or insulate the Muslim community from its own culpability in this. Muslims have a problem, specifically immigrant Muslims, because we black Muslims, we don't have this problem. Okay, we're not doing these types of terroristic acts. It's the immigrants. Okay, and rather than take a look at this pernicious ideology that young Muslim immigrants and second-generation Muslims are subscribing to, buying into, and committing these horrific acts all over the world, the Muslim community wants to act like this is some type of aberration. Or this is just some kind of lone wolf. This is, just some crazy man. And that there's not some ideology that is circulating amongst the Muslims that produced this man. Okay, this is all a trick, and it's all a game, and it's all in accord with the identity politics, which seeks to portray the Muslims as some type of victim group. And you know what the ironic thing about it is? Even as the mainstream, so-called mainstream Muslim groups and organizations, what I have termed the immigrant Muslim syndicate, even as they attempt to distance themselves from these criminal acts, they, on the other hand, play the victim card. They play, like they're so frightened, they're so afraid. The community is afraid. We're under attack. Send money. Send money to CARE. Send money to ISNA. Send money to Impact. Send money to all of these Muslim organizations so that we can, quote, protect the community. Protect the community. Seems to me it's everyone else that needs to be protected from the Muslims. This is the problem. This is the problem. They want to play politics with this. And this is because the Muslim establishment, the immigrant Muslim syndicate, has taken a page out of the left. Truth be told, they are in fact the left at this point. They have completely sacrificed their religious values, their mores, their traditions, and they have completely subscribed to the methodology and the ideology of the left in playing the victim politics, some type of victim group, when in fact it is the Muslims themselves who are producing these maniacs. It is the Muslims themselves who are producing these butchers, these animals, these savages. It's the Muslims themselves. And this man was a Muslim terrorist who committed this brutal and vicious act in the name of Allah, in the name of God, according to his thinking. Go ask him. He'd tell you that. He wouldn't tell you he's doing this in the name of ISIS. So it's time for the Muslim community in America to take some responsibility. Take some responsibility and stop trying to play the victim. Stop trying to use these tragedies Really, it's more than a tragedy. It's a monstrosity. Using these horrific events to raise money and to play the victim and to try to portray yourself as innocent in all of this. You're not innocent in all of this. With all of the money that CARE has, the Council of American Islamic Relations, with offices all over the country. It seems like they have an office in every single city in America, it almost seems. That's a lot of money. They could be taking this money. They could use this money to direct some type of anti-extremist campaign, to stigmatize and to eradicate these evil individuals from our midst. But no, they won't do that. They use their media, they use their friends in the media, they use their fundraising arms to portray themselves as victims and to portray themselves as some type of protected group in America. You know, we feel sad for the families of these victims. It's a terrible, terrible thing. I am one Muslim who's trying to turn the focus on the Muslim community in America to do the right thing, and to marshal our resources to uproot and eradicate extremism and terrorism from our midst. I hope that we're able to attain some success in this. I'm just one man. I'm just doing what I can do. But I think we're having some type of impact. Please share the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.